What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we do our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate investors, entrepreneurs alike, and the cryptocurrency world because crypto is the biggest opportunity over the next few years and it's not even close. So welcome along on the journey. We're pumped to have you guys. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely. Corey Geary here, and I'm just truly blessed. I am back in the beautiful country of Puerto Rico, in office, ready to go. We are here for the gains. We are here to change the trajectory of our family tree and maybe bring along you guys for this ride. We'll see. No financial advice ever. You can go buy bonds, but we're going to be buying cryptocurrency and DCAing into crypto because we feel like this is the opportunity of a lifetime where we're at right now, especially in the market phase where we're going to use crypto as a wealth creation tool and then use real estate down the road as that wealth preservation tool, the way real estate was meant to be used. And we're going to be kind of going into that a little bit more as we move along on our show, guys. And so that way we can kind of give you guys an exposure what that looks like. We even have a good guest coming on next week who has a big rental portfolio, and his kids have rental portfolios. It'll be fun to bring them on and talk to about wealth generation, which is what we're all after, right? We're all after wealth generation and buying our time back. This is like the two main things that I know that's important to me. And I feel like crypto, make no mistake about it, is that opportunity to buy that time back if you get it right with the next year, maybe year and a half, maybe a little bit shorter. Who knows? We'll see if the whole let's translate it cycle plays out. But the opportunity is in this space. We know that.
Yep. One of the things that's really interesting in narrative going around right now is a lot of people are hurt over e-hacks, understandably so. And if you're one of them, we feel for you. We're sorry that you weren't able to see the what's it called, the trees through the lake through the trees, or what's that term? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The tree in the woods or so. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I guess if you don't see the lake and the trees, you can be driving through the trees and you can go right into the lake.
Forest through the trees. There it is.
That's the trees. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So it's interesting that we're seeing, looking at the charts, that a lot of people are fleeing from Hex in general into other things in the Richard Hart ecosystem. And I think it's an interesting question. Corey, do you think that Hex is a dying token that is set to not do anything interesting for the rest of time, or what do you anticipate that it may do here?
If I felt that way, kind sir, I wouldn't be wearing this shirt. I wouldn't have this on the wall. I would have came back to Puerto Rico and took this off the wall if I felt any way, shape, or form in that kind of sentiment. No, I feel like people are taking it out on RH that, the e-hex thing, that narrative is not playing out the way they saw. I will say this. I wish, and it might be because of the SEC, and I get it, right? Because his hands were kind of, I feel like, more tied when Pulse Chain launched than what we're seeing now. Like right now, we see the SAC funds moving around. We're seeing him be a lot more expressive in his opinions, I guess I would say, where we didn't see that last year. But it would have been nice if there was a little bit more clarification, or this type of messaging was pushed out to the community from him directly when Pulse Chain first launched. Because here's the issue. It's not the guys who had a bunch, in my opinion. Of course, we do have some of these guys who are bitching about their stakes from pre-fork. It's like, guys, you got your copy. Quit bitching. It's not those guys who are, in my opinion, the issues or the one who got hurt. It's the people, and I get, okay, they might have been a little naive or might have been not seeing, like I said, the forest of the trees. But they were seeing the cheap e-hex and building out, their portfolio based around that. I can get more T-shares. I mean, how much in the community do they beat the drum about T-shares, right? That's the biggest thing, and accumulate as many T-shares as possible. They're looking over at e-hex and they go, oh, I can accumulate, half as more or 50% more, or maybe it's twice as much. I don't know what it was. I was not doing any e-hex staking, especially in the long term. That's I wouldn't even do any short-term staking with EHEX, to be honest. And so like those guys who put new money in the system after fork, those are the ones that are getting, in my opinion, the hurt the most. Like there's a lady on Twitter, and I don't want to call her out. She put like, I think we had mentioned it earlier, Dane, her kids' college fund, which, why are you putting your kids' college fund in the crypto anyways? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of wild. I mean, I get you want to, I mean, we're all in, but like when you start playing your kids' money, that's another story. But yeah, so I mean, there are those people where it's affecting. In my opinion, I don't think EHEX is dead. Now, I don't feel like our friends are right, Dane. You know that. I don't feel like the guys who are beating the EHEX drum are right either. It's always, the truth always lies somewhere in the middle. This is everything in life. Everything
Right.
like it's always somewhere in the middle. Will EHEX have a life after this? Yes, of course. But PHEX was always meant to be the dominant hex. That's the main hex. That's the main, RH ticker now, because that's why he built Pulse Chain 4. But EHEX is going to have a life. There are going to be people who take over the supply. You have these well-selling, hundreds of millions of EHEX, and they might be kind of done now. There's a lot of bullish divergence on EHEX right now on the 4-hour, and it's starting to kind of creep back up. Doesn't mean that a well can't smack it back down. One well can smash that right down. So be careful with that, guys. But, it's going to continue to live, and it will continue to have a community that will like to support it, even if RH is like, oh, you know what, that's not my child anymore, kind of thing. But it would have been nice, Dane, if there was a little bit more clarification from RH after the fork. And I think maybe he couldn't, probably. That's also my speculation, that he was very tied. He wasn't, remember the stupid little video we got where everyone thought it was AI? Like he came out and did a video for like 30 seconds. Like, oh, Pulse Chain's launched. Welcome to Pulse Chain. Goodbye. And it was literally, that was it. And like, so like there was probably a lot of like attorney, things had to go through all the attorney stuff, right? And to make sure he can say what he wanted to say. I feel like those straps have been, or those strapples, they've been unleashed now. He can do what he wants and say what he wants. And so it has been nice. Once again, if that's the case, then I know this kind of, I'm not trying to put, be a coper, but like, if that's the case, then like, maybe it's the SEC is the real root cause of why he couldn't say that, meaning that, people building out their portfolios around EHEX, that once again, now you can point back to the SEC and go, well, they're the root cause of this destruction, because he couldn't clarify more earlier. Because I think he would have. I think he would have, like, on like the first pump on EHEX, he would have been like, look, guys, what are you doing? Come over here and buy the real hex now. Like, stop with the gas fees. I would have felt like that would have happened earlier if he didn't if he wasn't like, tied to the attorney, you must only say this kind of thing. I don't know. And this is all speculation, guys. I am speculating right now. I have no idea. I mean, he could come out tomorrow and be like, look, guys, if you want to continue buying EHEX, go ahead. I mean, you would never know. Like this is crypto. This shit goes down more than you can ever imagine, and it goes up more than you can ever imagine. I mean, I didn't expect. I see Hex Monkey here. We were hanging out in Vegas, man, and we were over in the karaoke room with all the other Hexicans. And man, I didn't expect Ink to hit $10, Pulse X to hit stack rate, like all these price targets that I didn't expect to happen to after the Bitcoin halving were happening. And I was just like, what the heck is going on? This is way out of my expectations what would be hitting. And so, like, whatever, man. I'm here for the ride. I don't go all in on one narrative. Like, that was definitely a mistake. If you were all in on building EHEX T shares out because they were the cheaper T share, and that was your all in strategy because it was a cheap, like, this is the lesson learned. Never go all in on one narrative or one type of strategy. You got to be diversified, at least to a certain degree. Over diversification can hurt you too, but you want to be like somewhat diversified in the RH assets. I mean, I got some of everything. I do.
Agreed.
I got some of everything, and I don't care if one pumps over the other. I also don't care if this is like a local top for a while. There's some talk about that, and we go through like a bearish type, few months. I don't care about that either because I make money in the real world and I'm not living off of my crypto. If you live off your crypto and you're all in, and then you're also building out EXT shares, and that's what you're the drum you've been beating, like, God, diversify your mindset a little bit, please. Get out of the box. There's more to it, and but I mean, EHEX is not dead, man. It's not. You watch. There will be wells that'll come around and they'll soak it up, maybe for pump and dumps. Whatever, man. That's crypto. Crypto's pump and dumps. If they're gonna pump and dump EHEX, I'm for it, and I'm gonna ride that bitch up, and I'm gonna sell when they're pumping it, and I'm gonna buy back in when there's. Dude, it's just a freaking meme coin then. Okay, fine. If that's the new narrative, let's roll with it. But like, yeah, those are my thoughts, man. I try to stay so Switzerland on this stuff because usually that's the right answer with most stuff in life.
Right. It's interesting. Corey and you and I were talking about yield, and yield's a really interesting thing because if you feel like, and I was talking about this with our buddy Josh the other day, that if you feel like the coffers are just going to magically be replenished later, then you don't feel like the asset that you have that's being replenished is rare. And so people are more likely to be sellers. And we've seen it all bear market. In fact, there's been nothing that people have liked to sell more than Hex. They love selling it. They love selling it.
Big ones.
So, yep.
Big guys who love doing this too.
And you saw when Richard came out and talked about the two hexes, I mean, you had this wick up where there were people that rotated from EHEX to PHEX, and then you saw general, just a huge sell down. This is a 50% dip here from the top of these wicks getting sold down. And so, yeah, it's interesting to take a step back and say, how do you feel about the yield? How do you feel about, the T shares? And how do you feel about the other assets in the RH ecosystem? I'm telling you, I feel more bullish on the things that are not turning out yield to the people that were super early. I got
news for you. I'm not here for yield, man.
No.
It's fun sometimes to get it, especially when you're in a bear market or in a sideways market. The yield's fun, and it's nice to see like your coins growing. But like in a bull, man, I am not here for yield. There is no amount of yield you're going to pay me or APY. And I know we've discussed this a lot in our private chats, Dane, with our community. But let's just take one of the highest yield opportunities right now in crypto in our ecosystem, and that's like liquid loans in Power City or Earn. You're making anywhere from 100 to 150%. Earn was at like 300-400, but even 100 is ridiculous. Like that is unheard of in the real world. It's unheard of in real estate. It's unheard of in the stock market. I don't care what you're doing. There's nowhere you're going to make 100% on your money. You can in certain businesses that are startups. You could definitely do that. You can definitely do that in business. I don't want to say anywhere because business is where that opportunity lies. But if you were making 100, if you got a 10x, let's just take say Pulse. Pulse does a 10x. You would need to make 10,000% APY to make up for that 10x. Okay, so I put that in perspective. So if you're selling your Pulse and going to stable coin so you can get yield in the Earn or liquid loans, you need to make 10,000% if Pulse is a 10x, and it might not. It might only do a 5x. Okay, what's a 5x? 5,000%. What's a 2x? 2,000%, right? Or is that 200%? I'm sorry, is that 200%, Dave? Maybe
2x.
Yeah, 2x is 200%.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm off 1-0, but still, you guys get the picture. What if Pulse does a 20x, 50x? You're no amount of yield. Yeah. Sorry, NCG, you're right. I was a 0 off, but still, there's no amount of yield in crypto that can make up for the amount of X's that you receive in the bull run. That's the whole point there. That's the whole point. You can't do it. You can't do it unless you're running. Unless you know you can run sideways. So maybe like we go up a 2x, 3x, and then we come back down, and we're just ranging for a year. That's the only way yield makes sense.
Yeah, agreed. I like yield opportunities much better in the bear market when things are starting to find some stability. Yeah, I'm far less interested now. And we see it. I'm telling you guys, some of you are new here, but the people that were trapped because they were accumulating T shares over on Ethereum, they would have much preferred to be liquid. So take that for what you will. But I'm telling you, I feel so. There was a really cool. Some of you guys have heard of DebtBox. They've been one of the crypto platforms that's been pushing against the SEC. I was really early to that platform a couple of years ago, and I made an obscene amount of money from the passive income that came out. And I'm telling you, like, it was really interesting when that bad boy was cranking off passive income. I didn't feel bad about selling any of it, because the sentiment is that, oh, this is just going to show up next month and I could cash this out. I'll have more next month. And still, even today, it's not turning out what it once was, but I'm like, oh, I'll make more of this. I don't feel that bad about selling it. And I think that's a really interesting thing to weigh in when it comes to Richard's tokens. What do you want to buy? Where do you think sentiment's going to be? What do people actually want to hold on to? And so far, it looks like they want to hold on to PulseX. They want to buy and they want to hold Ink. They want to do that with Pulse, and Hex is the laggard. So for you guys in the comments, I'm curious, do you think that Hex is going to catch up at some point? Yeah, what do you think? I'm really curious.
I mean, my opinion on that, I'm in the camp with Sami. I think the PulseX and Ink, being that they were the most hated by everybody and they were the most destroyed in the bear, they're going to probably do the best this bull. I really believe the whole narrative. PulseX is just a DEX. What the heck? $1 billion DEX, bro? Well, man, crypto is irrational. Markets are irrational. No one gives a shit what the utility of any coin is. It's just all narratives, and that's it. And they'll buy it up because it was the most hated, and that's the only reason why. Like, crypto is nothing is based off utility. Hardly anything, it seems like, is based off utility in crypto. Maybe down the road, long term, probably. I would agree with that. Definitely not in short bursts or throughout, like, even a swing burst, like a month on the monthly time frame. It's just, man, I've learned that the hard way.
Agreed. Did you see more recently that Richard's calling Ink a meme coin?
Yeah. Oh God. He's trying to spin the narrative so that way it could people will adopt it as such and keep buying it up like a meme coin, because he knows that's where most buy pressure goes. I mean, we've seen it over and over again. That's why B Roots is the meme king, the moon king. And that's why he leans so hard in that direction.
Let me find that. I wanted to find those tweets and talk about it. So one of the things that I was really nervous about is I wasn't sure we would see Richard adapt. Now, shout out to Richard. Richard is one of the smartest people in crypto, if not the smartest. That's why we're here. I think Richard's the guy. I was nervous about his willingness to adapt to the new ecosystem and invite things with open arms that frankly need to be invited to really grow the ecosystem here. And I think it's funny to be able to see him talk about Ink as if it's a meme coin. I think it's good for him to be able to be shouting out things that are built on Pulse Chain. It's a really refreshing view of Richard. And so many people on Twitter get bent out of shape because they think Richard shouldn't have done something. If you're a billionaire, we'd love to hear your opinion. Otherwise, we'll let the billionaire do billionaire things.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Yes, that's right. No utility for dog with hat. Exactly. A dog with hat freaking killed it. You could have had changed the trajectory of your family tree, Dane, with dog with a hat.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Can you imagine the story? Kids are like, your grandkids, how'd you make all your money? Well, there was this thing called Dog with Hat 40 years ago that I bought, and I just went bonkers, and now we live in the
and it was a magic invisible internet coin. Well, what does Dog with Hat do, Dad? Nothing.
Nothing. It was a joke. That's crazy. But no, I think the long and the short of it is I think Hex is gonna do fine, but I'm with you. I think Richard's other tokens are more likely to outperform just because
I think
people
so, man. I
first
think it's,
cycle tokens, people like
yep.
to sell yield. They have most of the yield in Hex. Like good for everybody that has that. I think that's great. Seriously, I think that's remarkable. We wish we would have been here from day one too. That would have been awesome. But people like to sell it, and I think the other stuff's going to outperform. It'll be interesting.
Yep, this is the cycle for Pulse Chain, Pulse X, and Ink. Now, I don't know which ones will be the winner, but I feel very strongly those three are going to absolutely dominate the cycle. And I feel like Pulse X and Ink will continue dominating for a little while. There will be a time where the ratios will trade around there, and there will be times where Hex runs up too on these other assets. But over the long haul, I really feel strongly about those assets performing well. The layer one, man, one of my well friends, he's been in crypto since 2000, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, early days. He was day one Ethereum. He goes, Corey, the only thing that should matter to you is how much more of the layer one you can get. That's it. He goes, nothing outperforms the layer one long term, period. In the story, you look historically at every other blockchain, everything built, it does not matter. The layer one is all that matters long term. That stuff stuck with me, is going to continue sticking with me. And I mean, guys, you're going to hate it, but if PHEX were to run up against Pulse really hard, I would probably take profits into Pulse. So like the only thing that matters for me in this market cycle is how much Pulse can I receive in my bag. That's it. That is it, man. I don't, all other arguments out the door for me. And I might be wrong. Who cares if I'm wrong, because I'll still do all right, even being wrong. I'm not here to be right or wrong. I'm here to make money.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, how can we get a Hex with hat? That would I like it.
Can you Hex Monkey, can you tell your friends who are building over there on stupid Titan X, and they come over and build on Hex, and can they create Hex with hat? That would be awesome.
Yep, that would. How do we lobby Richard to change the ink token symbol to a dog of some sort? That's
I
really
like the inks. I like the token symbol though, the way it is, man. It's very bright. It's in your face. It's kind of flashy.
We need a dog picture, Corey. We're here to make money.
I don't know. I feel like that would kill it. If he did that, I feel like that would mark the top.
It'd be time to take some profits.
I'm like, all right, I'm rotating my ink bag back in the Pulse. I'm like,
yeah.
I like the symbol, man. I think I'm gonna get a. I saw the Australian guys. They have a store. That's where I bought that real nice necklace. I don't know. I don't see the necklace here, but they got this really nice ink sweatshirt or long sleeve shirt. Like, and it has the ink like logo here, and it's like this like almost like reflective material. I mean, it's beautiful. Like I love the logo, man. Myself, I like how it pops. I mean, you take Brizology. He's not even here. He'll come in at the last second, I'm sure. Brizology says that's the only reason why he buys it, because of the logo. That's like because I only buy it because the logo is cool.
Right. That's fun. Go, man. Well, this has been good. I think that's an important topic to be able to weigh. I'm telling you, I just think for me, I would exercise caution, building real heavy on EHEX. The man, the myth, the legend is spoken, the billionaire that likes to buy his own things. He's not buying EHEX. I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. And I think God bless you and whatever bags you want to build.
I would just say Hex Mining Hodler, just remember to diversify. There's nothing wrong if you want to build like a bag over there. I get it. Like I understand the mindset there, the thought process, but also diversify and build yourself a PHEX ladder. Make sure you're buying some Pulse. Create some node validators if you want some passive income in Pulse. That's a great way to make passive income at a very low risk. So I just diversify a little bit throughout those processes. I'll be honest with you. I bought some EHEX yesterday on the massive dip. I did. I bought it as a meme coin, and I'm up on my position, a little bit up, not tremendously, but I'm a little bit up in my position. And I bought it, because I feel like it will have some people buying it up and still like they're attached to it. There will be community members that will circle around it. There will be. I feel strong. B Roots is already talking about it. He's like, I'm gonna make this my next meme coin. Okay, bro, let's see you do it. I would love to see you do it. Come on.
I would too. That'd be
I'm
great.
in for it. Like, pump the shit out of it. And the liquidity is getting really thin. Like right now, I'm looking here on Hex with Wrapped ETH. I'm looking at $642,000 liquidity. That is small for Hex, man. Like if somebody were wanting to pump this price chart, they could. It won't be Richard, but it could be anybody else. It could be one of those. Who was the guy that came in, Dane? Got all the Hex community riled up 6 months ago, and he pumped and dumped eHex. What was his name?
I know you're talking about Alex.
Alex the Whale. He went on
Yeah.
Matty Allen's show and bought $100 grand worth just to get everyone to like, oh my god, it worked. It worked so well. God, these games that they play, I'm like, man, I'm taking notes, bro. I'm taking notes. But like, yeah, you might have another one of those guys come in and do that. Like. Just be mindful of it. Like that's what they're doing. There's nothing, in my opinion, this is crypto. There's nothing wrong with it. This is all PvP and it's all allowed. So you just got to know the game. What do they say? Don't hate the player, hate the game or something. Is that the old saying?
Yep, that's right.
It's the same with crypto, man. This is the game we signed up for. If you don't want this game, go play just go play in real estate. We love real estate. Real estate, you're not going to have pump and dumpers. You don't have rug pulls. Right. You don't got Ponzi's. You don't got all this. Like you do have some. You do have some shadiness.
Yeah,
you get some shadiness in the space, but it's definitely not. You have a lot more sophistication.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Sprack's comment here is interesting. Yeah, with Richard abandoning eHex, I think it adds the volatility over there. So depending upon how you want to play your hand. It'll be interesting. I am not holding out any hopes for eHex to $1 in 5 years.
Not long,
but it would be for me. But it would be great. It would be great. I'd love to see it.
I'm not also EESing either. So that's take that for what you want. I'm not EESing, but I stopped building long-term eHex after the fork. Like that was like I stopped building long-term anything on eHex. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Cool, guys. Well, this has been good. Anything else you want to hit on, Corey, before we jump off?
No, man. We'll keep it short today. Being I'm just gotten back to Puerto Rico. I got to take the wife to the grocery store. We don't have eggs. We don't got milk. The baby's up running around, all acting all crazy. I'm blessed. It feels so good to be back, man. I really love it here. And this time coming back, we're in such a better place financially with everything taken care of out in Arizona. Like we're truly ready. And it's really cool because we got 1 year behind us. So it's like, okay, now we're really ready for this experience. We're back for the rest of the year, man. I think this is it. Besides, us traveling all over the United States, we got some events coming up next week. So guys, we won't be streaming. I think we might stream in the beginning of next week, but I think we're leaving like Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember what day it is, but yeah, come on tomorrow. We'll try to do the open mic show. That will be a lot of fun. If you guys want to come in here and argue with us about eHex, that'd be great. We love a little bit of controversy, yeah, it's just the whole thing is, man, long term, it's all going to be okay. Like we have one of the smartest guys in crypto doing some very strategic things with his bag. He's bought ETH up. We have this ETH ETF coming out. ETH will probably pump harder than Bitcoin pumped when that ETF goes through. It is going to be wild. I feel like fireworks are about to happen. It could happen this year too, like literally happen this year, which we need to be mindful because that could also be the top being, this could be a left translated cycle. That is not out of the question whatsoever. And so just be, know that you're in a good place, man. This is a great spot. Don't go all in on one narrative, on one place. Like the whole eHex thing, if you were diversified across all the RH assets, this would have not really affected you that much. Yeah, we would have hurt a little bit. You'd be like, 1/5 of my portfolio just got hammered. Okay, well then, the other 4/5 of your portfolio is fine, or even pumping a little bit because of that EHEX getting hammered. So that's the way to take it, guys. I mean, be out. Don't go on toxic Twitter. If Twitter is too toxic for you and it's getting you to like FUD your own self out, get off Twitter, man. Go and make money in the real world. Nothing is better than going out and getting money in the real world and taking 10, 20, $30,000 and knowing that you have this as dry powder to come in and buy blood. There is nothing better than that. I'm telling you, like, go out, make money, be an entrepreneur, crush the world, bring money in beyond crypto. If you're living off of crypto, God bless your heart. That is a tough life. You can do it. You can absolutely do it when your bags are big enough. But man, that is still tough, in my opinion. Go out and make money in the real world, create value to the real world, bring money in. Your direct compensation is by the value you bring to the marketplace. Go do that, and then take that value and store it in crypto. That is the game plan, guys. And it still hasn't changed. Even the bull has kind of kicked off here. We are still feeling the bearish kind of like back and forth of sentiment. That is still the game plan. It is not changed. We are not taking profits. It's not that time. So you have to go crush the world. So that's my rant.
Love it. With that, that's a good place to end. Appreciate you guys.
See you guys. Peace.